Hi, Ken Coscia here. Today in this training video, I'd like to share with you some tips, some ideas based on observations I've made over the past 50 plus years as I've traveled the world working with Silva Method practitioners about healing and about manifesting. And although there are many predictors, there are many observations to make, there are a number of them that are standout predictors that you can count on. You could say it begins with. So whether you're concerned about healing a physical ailment, a malady, something serious, it could be something as serious as people who've been diagnosed with stage 3, stage 4 cancer. Horrible. And I make no promises and I don't pretend to be a doctor, but I have witnessed in my life countless examples of people who are given that kind of diagnosis with regard to cancer or other kinds of maladies. And 10 years later, 15 years later, 5 years later, they're still alive and they're seemingly free of that disease. Now, of course, I wish it were 100%, and we know that it's not, so I'm being full disclosure here. But what is it about these amazing transformations, these amazing healings? And it's not just in the Silva Method. You know, we started it all, you could say, in 1966. We're a global institution all over the world. There are millions and millions of graduates. And all of our instructors throughout the world have observed this kind of phenomenon, which is very inspiring, very encouraging. So what I want to share with you is what are some of the observations that you can use and learn from to perhaps help you. You could also apply this toward anything with regard to your self-improvement, your personal development, like manifesting or co-creating, building a business, enriching a relationship, overcoming some of the behaviors or patterns that are holding you back. So let's talk about it with respect to healing. But remember, apply it to you in your life, what's relevant for you. So one of the predictors, I would say a real standout predictor, is for these individuals who seem to make what you might call a miraculous recovery, according to medical science, that is mainstream medical science. It begins with, one of the major predictors begins with a decision, a firm decision. Something has happened in their life. Something has happened to sort of, the way I look at it, sort of kick them in the butt and say, that's it, I'm done, I'm going to handle this, whatever it takes. So there are also a series of decisions that follow that. And one of them is the decision that whatever it takes, a high level of commitment. A high level of commitment and a clear, specific intention about what they want to accomplish, what the disease is, how they want to heal. And this is important. Now, there are many contributing factors to healing, to boosting the immune system. The specialty that I'm a part of and that I want to bring to you is meditation. In the Silva Method, we call it dynamic meditation. And there are many meditation techniques out there. There are some phenomenal, a lot of people doing the work, is my point. This is what I believe in. This is what I've been doing for nearly 53 years. This is what I resonate with. I feel I was born to do it. So I'm using this as an example. So prior to doing the meditation, there's a clear intention about what I want to recover from, what it is you want to deal with, to change, to heal from. We need that target. So it's got to be very strong. And part of the decision may have been made because of being motivated, being inspired by your family, your children, grandchildren, loved ones, people you care about who are counting on you, who you want to be there for. Or perhaps it could be you want to see your children grow up, you want to see your grandchildren grow up, you want to go to their wedding, whatever it might be. But there's something that called the will to live that keeps us in the game, that keeps us wanting to do whatever it takes. Very important. So you want to consider some of the benefits, the value. Not just, well, I want to live forever. Why? Why is that important to you? Maybe you have a mission. You have something to contribute, something that you haven't completed yet. And before you leave the planet, you want to make sure that it's done or it's well on its way. You get the idea? That's what we're talking about with this decision and having a clear, specific intention, a definition as far as what you want to manifest, co-create, what you want to heal from. And that commitment is vitally important because it's really an inside game. So I invite you, I encourage you, please. You're brilliant. You're very intelligent. You perhaps watching this video have a lot of knowledge, maybe experiences. Maybe you teach stuff like this. It's time, though, to go beyond just the knowledge, just what we know intellectually, what we've learned through experience, and to internalize it, to make it a part of us, to literally rewire our brain. Because unless we do that, nothing changes. Unless we shift inside, it's got to come from inside. Again, that's where I'm coming from. That's what I've experienced and witnessed with countless people. You get the idea? That's just the beginning, that decision, that commitment, which says, whatever it takes. So it begins with what? Actually getting in the game and doing the work. If you look here on my YouTube video or wherever you're watching that, or you're part of our community and you get the weekly newsletter I send out, I've been periodically sending out stories of transformation. And these stories of transformation are proof of what's possible, that encourage us and inspire us. Because let's face it, there are some obstacles, there are some things, attitudes, mindsets that can get in the way. And it's understandable. It's part of the human condition. Because we've all been, and again, it's not conscious. What you want to deal with is what's going on in the subconscious, unconsciously. The patterns of behavior that have been instilled and the beliefs. And often those beliefs are not part of our conscious thoughts. They are deep within us. And it takes awareness. It takes being aware. Self-awareness is the beginning of taking command of your life. It's the beginning of taking responsibility for our lives. So it begins with, one of the obstacles is doubt. Doubt, like, oh my God, I'm finding this almost impossible to think. Doubt. And again, it's understandable. Sometimes some physicians, they mean well. They want to help. And they know what they know. They're scientists at heart. And unless they've been expanding and have other, within the domain of their experience, other evidence and experience, that from their point of view, they're telling the truth. But unfortunately, sometimes I give people a death sentence and say, you've got 3 weeks to live, 3 months, 6 months to live. My brother, who passed away at the age of 86, had a very serious, he had a lot of things wrong in his heart. He had several clearings of his arteries. I can't even say it. But he had a serious lung disease where his lungs were drying up. And according to the current science, there's no hope. They gave him at the most 3 years. 8 years later, he passed away due to respiratory infection and complications from COVID. But that's a pretty good change from no more than 3 years to 8 years. And right up until his last day, he was still working, helping. He was an accountant, helping people. That's just one example. I use it because it's a personal example dear to me in my heart. So this doubt, I'm with you. 1971, when I went through Silva, I believed, oh yeah, stuff like this is possible. But I didn't think that it could possibly be true for me. And I think that the biggest obstacle in most people is self-doubt, not believing we could do. Oh, well, she's very special, he's very special. Oh, well, he's really a genius. But not me, I couldn't do that. We don't give ourselves enough credit. It's important that you start recognizing you are far more than what you appear to be. And I'm not just saying that to be nice. That's a fact. We all have unlimited human potential. However, it takes training. It takes awareness of that. It takes recognizing it, and it takes practice and development. When Jose Silva was alive, who was my mentor, who I worked closely with, in 1984, he selected me to work with instructors, to travel the world doing advanced trainings. He was one of the 4 people. What an honor, what a privilege for me. I still cherish it. And it helped me to learn a lot, ramp up. So one way to build self-confidence, to say, well, somehow, some way, I'll figure this out, even though we don't know yet how to do it, and overcome doubt, is, well, like I said, we need awareness. So when we hear stories from other people who have done what seems impossible, it makes it a bit more possible. Hey, if he could do it, she could do it. That's important. It's one of the things I value. When we do our live events in person, doing it on Zoom gets pretty close, but it's amazing, the love you feel, the energy, when you have a group of people who have a common denominator, a common interest that bonds them. There's a level of trust when it's supportive environment, comfortable, which is what our classes are like. I keep them intimate, anywhere from 20 to 50 people tops with that. The energy is palpable. And that energy helps people shift their thinking, shift their awareness. And we're witnessing before our very eyes amongst fellow participants changes. Sleeping better at night, reduction of pain to elimination of pain that's been chronic, going on for years in their life. People who've been for years and years having trouble getting to sleep. And even after 1-2 nights of practicing with what we teach in the immersion of Silva Life and Intuition System, they're sleeping better. I'm not telling you this to brag. This is proof of what's possible. Maybe you know other ways to do that. But that's what I mean by we need that kind of awareness, that understanding, that exposure to that. And when you have the support of a group, that really helps. And people saying yes and witnessing that. What also helps to build and need it is to have meaning, value to it. And this is why earlier I said part of what motivates you and I is extrinsic and intrinsic benefits. So why is it good for you? What's in it for you? Why do you want to heal? Why do you want to recover? Why do you want to live a fulfilling, fruitful, vital life? And why is it important to people you care about? It could be your spouse, your significant other. It could be your children, your friends. It could be your community. It could be people you serve. A big part of that is I value you as somebody who's honoring me with your time, to listen to me in the video, to attend classes with me. I don't take it lightly. I take it very seriously, and I double down as much as I can to support you with that. That's part of the meaning for me in my life. I'm approaching 73. People in my family say, why are you not retiring? Why are you not just, I don't believe in it, number one. Number two, sure, I'm slowing down, I'm more selective. But I want to contribute. I want to make a difference. And all the studies have shown for decades and decades that when people retire and don't have a new interest, a new hobby, or something that they value, their health what? You got it, declines. It's sad. The meaning for life. If you look at Viktor Frankl's brilliant work in logotherapy, and this incredible book, if you haven't read it, Man's Search for Meaning. He's in a concentration camp, German concentration camp, locked up, deprived of food, water, shelter, deprived of family members, people being killed before their eyes and being poisoned. And people were emaciated. And what he noticed was people who were staying alive and living through it had some sort of meaning or value, somebody they wanted to find, somebody they wanted to connect with. And people were sharing food, helping each other. And it became a whole, what he called man's search or woman's search, people's search for meaning. You get the idea, my friends? So this meaning, this value, is what motivates us with that. So please keep this in mind, and I sincerely hope this is of help to you. There's some takeaways. Of course, there are more predictors. Of course, there's more to that. And I would add one other piece for that. If you are a meditator, we have found, when Mr. Jose Silva was alive, I started to say this before and I digressed, he recommended 3 times a day, 15 minutes each time to meditate. Interestingly enough, in the recent years, neuroscience research, which has been far more specific than biofeedback research, has determined we don't need 20 to 30 minutes, which was based on the original work of Herbert Benson at Harvard, to get into homeostasis, balance, which means the immune system is pumped up and doing what it's supposed to do. I mean, that's my simple example of what that means. But they find now that you can accomplish that in 13 minutes of deep meditation. So we say 15. Interesting. Mr. Jose Silva, it's one of the reasons why I stay with the Silva Method. It's an original idea. We're the most copied, most imitated. And I value original ideas. And he was saying this way back when he was criticized. I kind of wish he were alive, because so much of his work has been very well documented by neuroscience research going on and other people who have the resources with their meditation practices to do the research. So take this to heart. See how it applies to you in your life. And if you're finding it of value, hey, that's great. Would you do me a solid? Share it with other people. I'd like people to know that I'm here offering this. If you're not already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, please do. And if you'd really like to go deeper into this, these are the kinds of things we do with our students. And our advanced students, especially in programs like the Ultra Seminar on Healing, the Silva Mastery, which I specialize in, and our advanced students really ramp up, amplify these basic core practices which we teach in the Immersion of Silva Life and Intuition System, which by itself is awesome. And then after that, we build on it. So we're here for you. And if you're interested, you'd like to find out more, visit my website, silvamethodct.com. And you're welcome to subscribe. It's complimentary, a weekly newsletter where I send out lots of cool things to help support you. Thanks so much for listening. Until the next time, remember, you are far more than what you appear to be.